think part of dealing with it is just knowing that it exists and being able to see when it happens so that you can predict it. You can predict it. And then once you know, you're like, listen, self, I'm not going to be duped by this again. And really, it's not being prideful. It's being honest with what you're gifted to do and your sense of purpose. And, one of the things that I always remember, I do a lot of research on sense of purpose and the transition to adulthood and how adolescents and young adults kind of find their place in the world. And I love Bill Damon's definition of purpose. It's something that is meaningful to the self, but contributes to society. And so in many ways, we can say, oh, I'm good at this, or I like this, or, I'm interested in this. It becomes all, internally focused. But purpose actually takes what we're good at, what you're good at, your talents, your gifts, your strengths, and contributes to society and makes society better. And in so many ways, it's understanding. It's not that you're going to do everything well. What is it that lights you up? What gets you up in the morning, keeps you up at night? What are the problems that just upset you or inspire you, that you really feel like you can make a difference? And then remember that you don't have to do everything, but that's the thing. And that's what you're meant to do, and your ways in which you can contribute to society. And in some ways, no one else can do it but you. And so the community is counting on you and remembering how much the community is counting on you doing what you are gifted and talented to do. And I think we have to talk to people and have people who will hold us accountable to the gifts that we bring. And again, it's not like, oh, I have to be good at everything. You don't have to be good at everything. But each of us knows some of the things that light us up. What are the things that we feel like we should really challenge ourselves to get better, that we can get better? And it's when we are steeped in our sense of purpose is when imposter syndrome arises. Because our ego is invested in it. We feel like we should do it. We kind of believe that we can do it. And so imposter syndrome often leads to inaction. We get frozen. We stop doing it because if I don't do it, then at least I haven't failed doing it. And we have this kind of fear of failure that comes with this imposter syndrome, that if we just back away from it, then I don't have to admit that I was afraid to do it. And so imposter syndrome leads to inaction. And if we know that, we don't have to solve the whole thing. We just have to take 2 steps into it. And for me, imposter syndrome, as you know, I just had it 2 weeks ago, it never goes away. And no matter how many times I accomplish something, I think, oh, if I just get my PhD, or if I just get the job, or if I just get tenure, if I just get, and it stays right out ahead. I've never been able to pass it, which means I have to kick it out of the way. And doing that is remembering, what is it that I'm good at? What are the contributions that I bring? Where do I get that feedback from my community that reminds me why I'm a valued member of the communities in which I walk? And so it's about belonging, and it's about staying actively engaged in your gifts and your talent and your purpose.
That's beautiful. I love that. I'm going to offer 3 ideas. And the idea, number 1, comes from what Nancy and I have said. You need a friend like Nancy to shake you and say, you are amazing. Just realize it. And a friend like mine who told me about myself in a way that I never would have said myself. But I took that and I used that and I internalized that. And that was such a powerful gift. That is number 1. Find that person that will do that for you, because it's a lesson, and keep building on that. Point number 2 comes from my research on exercise and general well-being. We are our most creative selves when we feel good, we get enough sleep. How many people feel like they got enough sleep last night? Okay, some. Get enough sleep. Move your body. Did you know that just 10 minutes of walking can significantly decrease your feelings of anxiety and depression? Just 10 minutes. We walk 10 minutes just to get to the subway, just to get to the next class. That is a gift that we have. Make sure that you're giving your body and your brain those gifts so you get into that creative slot. And the third gift that I'll offer is something that the amazing musician Jacob Collier, I heard him say that he was being asked about imposter syndrome. And he said that when you are the biggest, boldest version of yourself, you lift everybody else around you up. You inspire them. You help them be big and bold and creative as well. And I just loved that inspiration. So, and I agree with him. And I try to remember that, even in situations where you get scared and you think, oh God, I'm not going to be able to give this talk. But you're bringing everybody with you. And I tell you, you can feel it when you do.